All right, so more reflections. Sort of over 6 months into this sabbatical, the north of Sweden. I'm on my morning walk to get some oxygen, some air, part of the well-being strategy. And it's been a real adventure, a roller coaster. People often ask me, how's it going? And it's really hard to put into a sort of short summary. But I came here with a number of goals, largely to be with the family and to support our family to experience the Swedish life. Partner's Swedish, the kids are half Swedish. But I'm a Sri Lankan Kiwi / Aussie on the way to being an Aussie. And I guess a true multinational, but at heart an international. It's been an adventure, but I've also been going through some low patches, and I guess part of what I like to promote is authenticity. And I guess, about a year ago I went to the Creative Careers in Medicine conference, which was a fantastic conference. I would thoroughly recommend it for doctors, because I think doctors are such creative beings who really want to, by and large, help people, help the world, make a difference. And I've been a doctor for over 25 years. I was a class rep, I think, for at least 3 or 4 years running, because I cared about my colleagues. I liked that role. I'm a connector. And I really got to understand the culture of medicine. Also born into a medical family. My father's a doctor, my older brother's a surgeon. Younger brother's a dentist. We've got lots of family. So many cousins who are doctors. And for me, I was always interested in the anthropology, the culture of medicine. But I was always interested in following my heart, my dreams. And just recently, really loving the podcast by Rangan Chatterjee, because he's a very interesting GP. He's got a podcast called Feel Better, Live More. I share a lot of similar values to what he talks about as a physician, treating patients, as a general practitioner. I see the same because I'm essentially a general practitioner in hospitals. I see quite a diversity of patients. Even now I'm doing telehealth, which is amazing, through the technology supporting rural hospitals in Australia from a remote location. And it's wonderful. It's a shout out to my emergency doctor too, because it's been a great team to work with, and we love sort of helping and supporting people. And I guess the one thing I learned from this podcast is there's always, if you're born into a medical family or there's a lot of pressure to do it, you can sometimes lose sight of why you're doing it along the way, and I certainly did. But I was fortunate because I took some time out. I went to Sri Lanka in 2006 for 6 months. I stayed for 4 years. I loved it. I wanted to do some community work after the tsunami, but really it was also kind of a personal, spiritual journey where I wanted to actually go back to the country I was born in. I was born in Sri Lanka, but I never lived there until 2006. I lived there for 4 years, I learned the language. And in a sense, we're on a little bit of a journey at the moment for my partner, going back to where she's from. But at the same time, I am here and adapting to a new way of life. It's been amazing, but I miss the systems I once knew. But I guess the point of this particular vlog is, whilst there may be challenges in where you're at this moment, if you look with an open eyes, an open mind, an open heart, you will find miracles. And you just have to be open to it, because look at this. This miracle. This is a frozen lake that I have walked around. It's so beautiful in summer. But I marveled at this. This is the first time I've been coming to Sweden for 14 years. Before this time, this is the first winter I have spent in Sweden. The first winter. And I am now walking on water. Walking on water. Now it is, I know that I'm not going to go right to the middle. I know you can, because the ice is such, but you know, there's some tracks here. But let's stay where it's shallow. So we walk on the edge of the lake. So, you know, I think when I did the first vlog, I was walking on a river. Now I'm walking on a lake. So these are the things, right? And this opportunity to even do this. I met someone at that conference a year ago. We were in the podcasting room, and I'd always wanted to do a podcast and never really had the courage to crack on and do it, because essentially I was like, well, who am I? Who am I to talk about anything with anyone? Instead of asking it like, well, who am I? What could I possibly offer in my, who am I in, not in an egotistical way, but my set of life experiences, circumstances, some of the things I didn't even create. I was born into a life where there's a lot of medicine around me, but also we moved countries 3 times growing up. Someone who understands multiple cultures, has been a representative, has a passion for promoting well-being and self-care and mental health, something that's stigmatized to talk about in healthcare and for doctors. Who am I? I'm actually someone who has the potential to even help one person, or even myself. So this is therapeutic to myself, really, because I really enjoy conversation. And out here, as you can see, there's not, in north of Sweden, there's not a lot of people to have conversation with. There are, but you know, find a lot of solitude. So what better place to crack on and start a creative project. So I was sitting in a room about a year ago, listening to other podcasters, and one of my other favorite podcasts, one of them is The Mindful Medic by Cheryl Martin. Amazing friend of mine, friend and mentor, emergency physician. She's done amazing work in that space, and she's often said, hey, you know, you should crack on and do a podcast, or come on my one. And I said, well, you know, I don't think I'm qualified to talk about anything. I just shoot the hay. But she was encouraging. And then there's another person called Isabella, and she, Hansen, and she does the Balanced Medic podcast, the Balanced Medic Handover podcast, I think. And it's that was amazing. I did do a talk about getting off the treadmill or training. That was my training journey. This is my working journey. And you know, I met these people, and they were super inspiring to me. And they also started in some place. And just when I listened to the Mel Robbins talk about the let them theory, and realized, what are we afraid about following our dreams? With my whole life, I branded myself. Oh, look, there's a little squirrel. I always remember that the whole of life was about, always following your heart. Listen to your heart. That's what I loved about Sri Lanka. I was meditating. I was in touch with my higher centers, and I thought I could never forget that, and that's why I created a blog, Bishan's World, and it was about following your heart, and that life is a journey, and we can forget that, especially when you do a very important, meaningful career like medicine. You can easily forget. So goal-directed, and often those goals are driven by great purpose, but I think along the way you've got to always stop. When you're climbing a mountain, you've got to stop, sit down, enjoy the view. So I kind of think, yeah, thank you to all those people who continue to inspire me. And I just thought I'd put this out there for those people, maybe people who are going to the creative careers in medicine. Who knows? And it's taken me a year to crack on and just start some vlogs. I don't know where this will go. It's an organic project, but I think I think the world needs inspiration. I certainly need it, and I hope I can provide some reflection of authenticity. We need people to say that, hey, you could be very accomplished, but yet challenged in your own struggles. Sometimes you feel down, so you do what it takes to lift yourself up, to reflect, talk to friends, like I did the other day with Tommy, and then go and do something positive, do some exercise. So we all struggle, and I don't think there's enough model of vulnerability in medicine. So I kind of think what I'm here for is I'd love to see more humanity. I used to say humanity in healthcare, but I'd love to see more humanity in the world today. And that's compassion. Those are things like fallibility, authenticity. Sometimes it's the unspoken that speaks the most. Thank you for watching. I'd love to hear your comments.